We finally had some time to take a day and deal with our chicken coop. We needed to take it apart and reinforce it, add more chicken wire to it, and just get it strengthened to where animals couldn't get in anymore. Josh built me this cute little country chicken coop many years ago that I requested, and I think he did a great job. He even built this taller cage structure that I requested, even though he thought it was silly, because I wanted to be able to walk in and walk around without bending over or stooping down. And I wanted them to have this bigger space of ground for the days maybe we couldn't let them out if we were gone. All of these years, we've never had any problems with anything getting into our cage and getting the animals until this past month. Something just was able to get in and kill off chickens one by one. A couple of times we were able to find an opening. One was in the chicken wire in the windows, and so we would put something stronger over that. Eli found these old cage sides that he was able to put in the windows when that chicken wire got pulled up there. And this looks like an old grill thing or something, but he's very resourceful. He just found what we had and used it. All the screws, I think, were from screwing a sheet of plywood on there until he found this. Then we would find one on the ground where the wire was pulled up from the bottom. So we put like a cinder block in front of that. We also borrowed a live trap from our friends to try to catch a raccoon and see if we would get anything, but nothing ever turned up. We may have lost some during the day to either a hawk or coyote while they were just out free ranging, but it's the ones that we would lose overnight while they were supposed to be safe in their cage that really puzzled me. We finally said, okay, we have to get this taken care of. We have to get this figured out now. It didn't seem to mess with the ducks though. After looking at the hole that we found and just talking to friends and researching it, we think that it was probably a raccoon getting in. It was a small hole and they were just getting in and killing the chickens. They weren't taking them or eating them or anything. And so we just figured we need to see how we can get that wire reinforced. So if you notice, there's a lot of hay on the ground here inside the cage. And we did that because when the ground would get super muddy after not only a rain, but with having ducks, they're super messy with water, which I don't mind because I love them so much. They're so cute. They're like puppies. But we would put hay down to make it not so sloppy, and then it would just keep building up and building up. And so we have a pretty thick layer, as you can see, and the kids are trying to shovel that off of the wire. When he built this, you can see he does have the wire go underneath because we were anticipating, you know, a coyote or something might try to dig under the side of the cage and try to get underneath it. And so we thought we were doing, you know, a sufficient job by putting this cattle panel, you know, bent going under the cage, but we did not anticipate maybe a raccoon, which is what we think got in, to dig under and then get right through, or else pull the chicken wire up from the side, which is what it looked like happened. So Josh is cleaning up this buildup of hay and mud and duck poop and everything and putting it on the compost pile. Hopefully we'll have some nice grass grow back in this area, and then we're going to move the coop and the cage. We're going to change directions and have it go north to south from under this tree here. So now we're putting the chicken wire that we have extra, we're wrapping the whole cage with it, including the bottom, which is where we didn't have it before. And we're just using this rabbit wire, these little fasteners. I don't know the technical name what they are, but we have two of these tools that just crimp them onto the wire. And of course everyone wanted to turn with that because it's kind of fun to do. But we just have to make sure that we get it secured and fastened in enough places to where it won't be able to be stretched. Eli is taking cinder blocks out of the coop here because as a temporary fix, he decided to close off this little door and put cinder blocks on the inside, and then he would just pick up all the animals at night, him and Caleb, and the girls would help too sometimes, and they would just put them all in there so they were all closed in the wooden coop at night to where we wouldn't lose any through the cage. For the most part, we like to reuse and recycle what we have on hand. We don't like to buy new things unless it's absolutely necessary, so we were just using the materials we had on hand. Eli up in the tree. He won't let me see him.
Where they got in. But then Eli, that's not where those blocks are gonna go.
Where are they gonna go?
Just put them by the building.
Too heavy? A runner.
Oh.
He's a good runner. I thought she said he's a good whiner. I was gonna say. Man, what would we do without a skid loader? I feel like we use it every day. We also finally moved that storage shed with the red roof because it was bothering me where Josh had just set it at an angle in front of this back shed, so we got that tucked away back here. This cage is pretty big and bulky. I can't believe we used to move it back and forth to my parents in Sweet Home when we would spend time in Wisconsin, and we'd have them watch our chickens for us until we finally just set up a cage there. The things Josh does for me. He's pretty neat. I love listening to the cicadas, but to Josh it just means hot.
Well, how can you help it eat?
Give me some there. I'm heading through these squares.
So, we'll do this for both sides.
The original chicken wire was just on the outside and it was just down to the ground. So now we're putting some on the inside, up on the side and to the bottom. And Clemmy just wanted to use a tool and be helpful, so I found her doing a little cutting. Clemmy, you working so hard?
Maybe I should put the handle up so it does. Come here, you gotta tone it. The handle attaching on up. Come here, no. You had to stop. You pull it this way, it'll be more force.
We had this red door that doubled as a ramp for the chickens, and we closed them up at night. But that was before we had the cage, and we didn't really have a use for the door. So when it broke off, we didn't need to repair it. And the ducks like this ramp just fine, and the chickens when they want to use it. Otherwise, they just jump. We also put extra clips on the existing chicken wire on the outside, so that wouldn't be as easy for anything to pull up. We didn't want to take any chances, so we put cinder blocks on the insides to help hold the wire cage down because it kind of got warped when we were moving it with the skid loader. So we were just hoping for some extra weight to deter anything from trying to dig or crawl under it. Swimming always feels like such a treat after a hard day of work, especially out in the Texas heat. And we had a beautiful sunset to enjoy along with the refreshing water. The next day, Josh went to see my cousin at Rock Hard Materials and got another load of pea gravel so we could put inside the chicken coop and try that instead of the straw and mud.
No, just this one. Pull this to here, because that's what'll keep it too. Because we might have to move that. That way, the inner one. Eli right there. And not inside the cage here. See it? The small right there.
We decided to go ahead and keep the cinder blocks in here and just fill them with pebbles just for extra reassurance.
Look what they did with the carpet. It's brand new. Margaret, look, I'm so happy. It's shag. Call the kids. Call them.
They are pretty excited. Comes out the back doors then?
Is it open yet?
Some are just trickling out only. It's raining pebbles from heaven. No. Hey, stay there. Okay, we just want to hear where we walk, okay? Staying cool in the water and in the shade. I think they like the rocks. So there's no signs of a raccoon trying to pull up any more wire. The old cages don't look that great sitting outside of this cage, but we ran out of chicken wire, and so it just adds a little bit extra protection so nothing can dig underneath it. The same with the cinder blocks. That's why we left those in there. Good morning. Where's the other one? Hiding behind it. A yellow one and a black one. The black one has a friend to play with today. I think the yellow one was just hatched this morning. It looks a little damp still, but they like that heat fan in there. Hi, chickies. It looks like something did try to dig again there last night. They all have names?
Yeah.
Just
Sanda.
there's only Cookie.
Cookie.
And then we don't know the rest.
And Mike.